Hello, my name is Selena Hankins, and I am going over the Teacher Disposition Self-Assessment Worksheet. It asks us, what dispositions do I possess that I feel like makes me a successful teacher? And I kind of struggle with this list specifically because I don't really feel like it's fair to rank yourself 1 through 10 on these, because I do feel like some of them kind of rank the same spot for me. So I had to rank the ones I thought a little bit lower that I didn't necessarily feel were as important in that moment, or where they should fall overall. But the highest ones I put are my compassion, my fairness, professional conduct, and my dedication. Are those the top 4 that I did it with, compassion being 10, conduct being 9, excuse me, fairness being 8, and dedication being 7. I feel like compassion should be the highest. I've said before in the post that I've had teachers who were not compassionate to me as a child, who was struggling with certain things. And now as an adult and as a parent, I find it sometimes frustrating when people are like, this child's acting like this, and they don't really have any compassion for why this child is acting out, when that's not something that's normal behavior for them. That's something I find frustrating. What dispositions do I need to work on before I enter the classroom as a first-year teacher? I don't consider myself a first-year teacher simply because I teach a preschool classroom in a daycare setting. But in Oklahoma, we're required to create lesson plans. For every week, we have to have a minimum of 4 days that we're doing lesson plans. Like we can have a fun Friday or something like that, which is what I often do, where we just kind of play at centers or go outside for most of the day. But I do lesson plans. We have a whole curriculum for the whole year that meets the ELGs, which is called the Early Learning Guidelines. And I've been teaching for a long time in a daycare setting, which some may not consider it teaching, but I feel like I am a teacher. Like, I'm teaching these children social skills. I'm teaching them multiple languages. We do our colors and our numbers in Spanish. I sign most throughout the day, so several of my children can sign their name in sign language, things like that. Some dispositions that I think I might need to work on overall is maybe my reflection. I do feel like a lot of times I'm kind of like a one and done person. Gotta get it done, gotta go. I don't have a whole lot of time to reflect, being the director of this facility, while also being the head teacher and making sure all of my girls are maintaining their classrooms and things like that. I do try, but it's not my highest on the agenda. And I put high expectations on there when I feel like overall I do have high expectations for my children in my classroom. I expect them to meet certain goals and stuff like that, but also at the same time, I'm not like, you have to do this or nothing else. I'm like, we're just not there yet. We can work on this later, or this is a skill that we can come back to. And then I put curiosity at a 3, which I really don't feel like is a 3 either for me, or honesty as a 4. I do feel like those are higher for me. So I felt like kind of this list wasn't very fair, because some of these ranked higher, but just based off this list and the need to do the assignment correctly, I did it based off of that. What qualities should professional educators display? I think all of these are wonderful qualities. The dispositions, they are qualities that all educators should display. And I think when we get to a point where they're no longer displaying the compassion or fairness or dedication, maybe they've gotten to a point where they're burned out and they need to seek other job careers, which there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, I've encouraged some of my own girls who've worked for me over the years, like, I just don't think this is for you anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I myself, having been doing this for over 10 years, have gotten to that point as well. I think what we really need is a good, strong support system to help us maintain these qualities overall. When we're not receiving any sort of backing from our admin or our higher ups, we get burnt out and we get kind of beat down and we no longer want to do it anymore. And I think that's kind of where it comes back to, is we need to have that strong foundation, that strong support. But I think all of these are wonderful qualities that every teacher should display. And it doesn't mean that they have to all be a 10. They can all be worked on over time, but it is something that they all need to think and try to maintain. Thank you so much.